All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here live for another fantastic episode here on YouTube. Pixels, Plastic, and Ink. Tonight, we've got a packed show for you. Let's run down the topics first and foremost. The hottest thing to hit the internet, Deadpool and Wolverine. What a hell of a trailer. People are excited. How does this change the film industry? We're going to get into that. Also, is horror dead? Abigale, the latest horror film, does so in the theaters. Is that a sign of doom for the future horror films to come? And then we dive into plastic. Hasbro turning in a wonderful, amazing Q1. Was that part of layoffs and a cost-cutting strategy, or are the figures in demand increasing? We talk about that. Also, Fox Forge Kickstarter, was that successful? We're going to talk through a little bit about that. And then an Ink review of Skybound, Larry Hama, GI.Joe. How's that run going? We've got the GI.Joe expert himself, Mr. Storm, will weigh in on that. And then lastly, we talked about a couple of episodes ago, the Marvel Blood Hunt, the big event coming. Guess what? We're all going to select which version we're going to read, which characters we're going to follow along. It's all here on another episode of Pixels, Plastic, and Ink. Stay tuned.
And now it's always so epic at the end.
Yeah, it just gets the goosebumps flowing. Well, thanks again for tuning in, everyone. Please subscribe. Our subscriber count is growing, and it's because of you all. So thank you. All it takes is a press of a button. You know, you watch us every week, you watch the content, or maybe you check it out every so often. It just helps the channel grow. It is free. So please take just 1 second. Click subscribe. Like the video, it definitely helps. You all know the YouTube algorithms. It's like Ultron. Let's get ahead of it before the AI takes over.
No.
Well, we're back. Mr. Storm,
Yes, sir.
Maddox, and Dr. Brantley, the birthday boy, is here with us this evening.
Oh, man, birthday boy.
Happy birthday, sir. How does it feel to be another
28 years old.
Yes, 28 years old once again. It's great every time. Been doing that for about 15 years or so.
We do have to ask, does it feel better than watching Rebel Moon Part 2?
Everything is better than watching Rebel Moon Part 2. I'm ready to go to the dentist.
Wow.
If you all haven't seen the recent review on the Shadow Nose Network channel, you have to. I love the Star Wars traditional scroll. I laughed out loud when I read it. It's something fantastic. So whether you're a fan of Rebel Moon and Zack Snyder or not, it was definitely one to watch. And we've got a series of other videos on the channel. So take a look and
read a book.
Let us know what you think. Reading Rainbow.
426 is Alien Day as well as my birthday for LV426, the lovely planet where Ripley found a new friend.
So Alien Day, your birthday, is there?
It says a lot.
Well, I never said I was from the planet Earth, if that's what you're implying.
Speaking of that, I know we're going to get off topic here just a bit, but Alien, the movie coming out in August on Alien Day, excitement about this. We'll leave it to the birthday boy to start. I know there's a bit of hype. I know the man himself said it's amazing. I've seen it. Does he have credibility? Is this something
No,
that?
not after those last two movies.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like that is definitely hard. It's almost like George Lucas saying I love it, and it's like, well, we've kind of seen some of the things you did recently. But any excitement to Alien on Alien Day coming out late this summer?
Now I do have to say that they are releasing this weekend the original Alien because it's however many years old, 40 something, I think, and so if you like Alien, you can go see that in the theater. The new one, I'll still go see it. I've seen them all in a theater. Just not real happy the last couple of times.
Yeah. What about you, Mr. Storm?
Oh, I don't know. Ridley Scott's seal of approval has me worried. Because he's the same guy that did Prometheus, and I can't remember what even the name of the other one was. But
Alien Covenant.
There you go, Covenant. Yeah. I don't know. It has me worried. The trailer looked good, but so again, Covenant and Prometheus's trailer looked extremely well too. I don't know. It's tough because it should be something extremely simplistic that they could do to the franchise to jumpstart it again. But it seems like Aliens and Predator have a hard time of just people ignoring what the simplicity of the characters are, and they go for these elaborate plots that don't work itself out. So we're gonna see, man. But Ridley Scott still doesn't sit well with me, bro.
Mr. Chet Maddox.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been impressed with an Alien movie in a long time. So do I think it's cool? Yeah, I think it's good to bring it out to see what we can find. But as one of our topics kind of talks about, like, Aliens has always kind of like teetered on the line of like horror and sci-fi, and the most impressed I've been with Alien in a long time was Alien Isolation, the video game, when I played it at Comic-Con inside the egg when it was pitch black. But I mean, look, I'm always about it. I give every Alien movie a chance because I do love the franchise, but
yeah,
just not kicking anymore,
One thing I've never been disappointed on is like the CGI and like the environment, the aesthetics. Even like I remember watching Prometheus, it still had like this creepy kind of feel. So like I've always appreciated that, regardless of how the plot was. I've never watched one of those where you just walk out and going, well, they shaved about $30 million on the special effects, right? I hope that's not the case with this one. I don't know what the budget is, but I hope it's good. I hope it's like what Deadpool and Wolverine we assume will save the MCU. Maybe this will save the Alien franchise. Speaking of Deadpool and Wolverine, what do you all think of the trailer? I know there's tons of reviews and reactions online, but we cut our video before that trailer launched around some rumors and stuff. Thank you all for viewing and subscribing after that. We had some we definitely were talking through some of the rumors, but I have to say I love the music. It's just like, so whoever chose that music to go along with the trailer is like just A+. But what a trailer, and I love just keeping it rated R, man. Just keeping it legit. What'd you all think of the trailer?
I thought it was fantastic. Like I said, it's nice to see both of the characters on the screen. I know the first real one that they showed was kind of like a little bit of a teaser. This one you see, and then they dive in a little bit of, this is a variant, obviously, of Wolverine, and that's the same reason why the whole Loki kind of thing kind of works well with this. And I think Hugh Jackman, and unfortunately, I don't care who else they bring in it, he's gonna probably be the guy that we always think about being Wolverine. And just to have those two together, and this is obviously a story within the Marvel universe, outside the Marvel universe. incredibly smart how they did it to, run with low key and some established scenarios and get everyone familiar. I think that, look, I know we were talking about like box office, like, we thought it was going to do well, save the comic book film industry, which I do think that, and I looked at what Joker was coming down. I think you've got some possibilities, some stuff really undoing some damage over the last couple of years. I gotta think that Hugh Jackman's loved around the world. Deadpool's a mighty big film. This is one of those we might be looking at another like $1 billion grosser here
if it's good.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's cool that they have part of it take place in the ruins of 20th Century Fox. And I know from experience that it must have been millions and millions of dollars for them to license Madonna for that trailer. But honestly, I wasn't that impressed with the trailer itself. But I think that's just because they have to hide so much because it would be a spoiler. So we'll see.
Chat.
I don't know. I fanboyed out on the trailer, to be honest. I've liked every trailer they've come out with. This one, I think this one gave you like a insight to like the type of like humor interactions that you're gonna see throughout the whole film with Deadpool and Wolverine. And I think over the years, it's funny because over the years, it's almost like they built a really good on-camera chemistry, but it's really just been Ryan Reynolds like trolling Hugh Jackman, and it's finally all like coming out. Like one of my favorite parts of the trailer is when he's at the bar and he asks for a drink and he calls Deadpool a woman. It's funny. I think it's gonna be good. I think the trailer maybe could have done a little bit better, but at the same time, like I think they know what they're doing, and they're recycling a lot of footage very well, and I think that's because like what we talked about, like there's going to be a massive introduction to someone from the MCU there.
Yeah. I think this is going to really shake. This is not new to people's ears, but I think in a lot of cases the struggle has been with these comic book movies is that they've shied too far away from the actual content and the character. I think that's always been the issue. Sure. Strayed too far away from the books, and especially with a character like Deadpool, that's proven over the past couple of films to keep it legit the way it was supposed to be intended, with violence and foul language and, let's be honest, sexual innuendos and all these things. In the Disney MCU, this is going to change things. I truly believe the amount of money it's going to make. I think we're in a different world than we were many years ago when everything was very like, should we do this? Should we do that? What about people's feelings here and here, that? And I'm not saying it's, it's dramatically shifted, but I do think that studios are really willing to take more of a risk, and it shows in this film. It definitely does. Just the trailer itself, right? Like erectile dysfunction jokes and sorry lady and let's effing go, like all these things that normally you wouldn't with any character, especially with like a Wolverine in it. So I think it's going to change how people look at films, how directors make films, how producers, how big companies, motion picture studios invest in films and go, hey, if it's a Spawn movie or if it's like a Constantine movie, it's like, let's keep it real and not make it PG and not try to appeal to the mass audience, but appeal to the people that are going to pay their hard-earned money to go see the film, because that's what they want to see. And I think it's going to shift the industry a bit. I think as long as it does well, which we all anticipate doing. I know Dr. Brent, like as long as it makes the money we think it's going to be. If it doesn't, we're in trouble.
Well, I think we've already seen it kind of have an effect on that in the film industry, because the live action Last Ronin film was announced, and that's a rated R as well.
Okay.
So I think like if you have people that understand that it's a comic book franchise property, that you probably have to give it an R rating to make it enjoyable. I think you could maybe you could get away with PG-13, but any comic book that people want to see live action, you can't do PG-13, in my opinion.
And kids need to learn, like we did. If you want to go see an R-rated movie, you buy a ticket for a PG movie and then sneak in.
Yeah,
you know,
who
that's a lot
doesn't do
harder with assigned seating now. That
but you
that's
can still
the one
do it.
thing. But you
Yeah.
can still do it.
I do it because I don't want to admit that I can buy a rated R ticket. Wait at the exit and be like, "Mom," as you walk in, and then just go sit in the theater.
Yeah, see, well, the difference is our parents did take us to those films willingly too. They bought the tickets, sat in with us, and so because I remember, my mom took me to see RoboCop. it clearly is one of those films that she shouldn't have probably took us to go see, but it happened. So
RoboCop is a wholesome family movie.
It is.
My dad took me to see Goodfellas, so
There you go.
that opening scene is right, age appropriate.
My dad took me to see National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
That's okay. That's fine.
Oh,
It's a good family movie.
Yeah.
Christmas film.
My mom took me to see The Big Chill. So, a 10-year-old, that's real good stuff.
I went and saw Batman, the 80s one.
Let me ask you a question. Is there, knowing that this could change the industry, like, is there a film, let's keep in the comic book world, that was already done that they could redo to make it more like a Deadpool, or stick to the accuracy, the violence, the true character, is there a film they could redo based off potential success of Deadpool Wolverine and how they're gearing towards comic book fans now? Is there anything that stands out to all of you? Like, you made it PG, you made it Disney, make it this way now.
That is a tough one right there. I think they have an opportunity to re-engage the action audience if they can, finally get a good script and get the new Blade remake done. Because that's the thing that jumped off. We remember that first movie, Wesley Snipes did it. If they can actually do that, that's another one that they can ignite people. But so far, what we've been seeing, they just can't get the script nailed down, and they're going back and forth. So I think that's one of those nostalgia things that you could pull, and we could see. But other than that, I can't think of anything else.
Like, I think the first Ghost Rider, they made PG-13. But I think the second one they did make R, and that didn't help at all. So
yeah, it wasn't about like that. It was just about movie. So.
Yeah, I don't think you could just make it R and hope it works. I think you need to know that it's R and then write for it being rated R. But I don't think you can just be like, let's redo X-Men First Class and make it rated R. Like, I don't think that would work either. So.
Yeah. If you look back in the comic book cinematic history, there's probably a few in retrospect that maybe if they just made it a little bit more violent or close to the subject matter, the better. We'd have to maybe do a special podcast on that. That could be interesting. They still have not made a good Hulk movie. But I don't know. Does Hulk need to be rated R? I don't know.
I think Ed Norton came close.
Yeah,
it was good until the end.
Chopped his stuff up, though. He said like they just destroyed it, like they do with Snyder. Although that's not a valuable excuse for him anymore. But did they ever release his version? They never did that. Like a Snyder cut. I wonder what that was. He's so adamant about, like, if you saw what I had envisioned, it would have been great. Yeah, I don't know. But we believe this will change the industry, not in terms of just generating box office, but I think if it does well, I think we're going to see the rebirth of comic films, and they all won't be happy appease the mass audience. So that's really great. Speaking of films, Abigale, which we talked about a while ago, the new horror film.
I feel like people are waiting for our Pixel intro.
It's too late.
No, we can.
There you go.
Great. That's worth a subscription.
Yeah.
Please subscribe. You know how much money it took for us to assemble that?
This is what happens when the birthday boy drinks.
Yeah.
Calm down on the sweet tea, bud.
Horror films. Abigale didn't do so well. Not a lot of big blockbuster horror films as of late. Is this just a one shot and everything's okay? Horror films will still continue to do well. What are your thoughts on this?
I'm thinking that there is a problem coming. I thought Abigale was at least going to do 15 week one. When it did 10, I was a little disappointed. I was like, well, wait a minute. I watched the film. I thought it was, it's not winning any Academy Awards here, but on the, there's a lot of smart and eventful things done. It was very entertaining. I thought the cast was extremely good. I believe it was only made for $28 million. So they did a great job. There's some stuff to pop up in. I'm not going to ruin it because we definitely, you need to go in the box office seat if you want to keep them to keep making stuff like this. It's like I think it was last year they had The Last Voyage of the Demeanor that didn't do well in theaters. The Exorcist just came out, and I think that went. I don't think it was in theaters. I think it went directly to
No, that was in theaters.
Oh, that wasn't okay.
Real quick.
That went
real quick.
They
It stopped by on its way to your house.
It's like
coming soon.
One head spin, and then it's over.
And then they had the Pet Cemetery that was directly to Paramount Plus. I don't know what it is. They're not spending a lot of money, which is a good thing. Because regardless of the end of the day, Abigale's going to make it's going to make a profit because it was 28 million. It's not hard to get. I think it did 10 this week. I think it's on pace domestically. I think it did 18. It's going to make its money, but it's not a box office hit. And I think it's maybe the approach of it because I know a lot of this stuff is like the Invisible Man. Blumhouse is doing it, and I think Blumhouse is a little bit at fault for this. Because they keep making cheaply stuff, and maybe it's catching up. Maybe people want to see some other things. A little bit of extra budgets put into it, a little bit more creativity than some of the films they're doing. This wasn't by Blumhouse, but I think that maybe they're not maximizing one, good stories, and two, it just doesn't seem as eventful. Although I will 100% tell you that I thought it was definitely good. What's up, Meeks? Other than, again, my disappointment was that it was entertaining. It moved quick. I wasn't bored from it. And it had some great payoffs. And even the acting, there was not a lot of, major actors in it, but every one of the actors was fantastic. And I think there was one of the gentlemen passed away before the film was kind of done. And maybe that's why, because his lines in the film and everything went extremely quick. And I don't know if that was just due to the fact that maybe he couldn't finish the picture or something or whatever happened. But
that, so I think that's like a point I was going to bring up too, is like, how much do you think it affected the launch of the film, knowing that there was if you pay attention to acting, like there's some you can recognize some, but there's no major like actors or actresses in this. So how much do you think that affects whether or not the film does good?
It might have had something
in
to
horror,
do with it.
It doesn't matter as much because you're going for the concept. If you've got a name actor, it helps. As long as people like that person. But that's the good thing about horror is as long as you've got a good concept, it can be cheap as hell. And if it's good, people will go. Now, Voyage of the Demeter, I just looked it up. That cost $45 million. They did not make that money back.
No, they did
That
not.
was a
No.
huge bomb.
But but it was entertaining though, because I think
Yes,
we
no,
did
it
that
wasn't
on
a
the
bad
retrospect.
movie.
I thought it was very entertaining, but I think that timeline,
But-
when you have to take movies back into like, the 1800s and things like that, I think you kind of lose audience for today kind of individuals.
Well, they
but
also
Abigail set today, and it just didn't.
Yeah.
drum up people in
Who's
the
your
theater.
audience? Who's going to see horror films?
I don't know at the moment, because Megan was
It's
teen to
usually
20-year-olds.
That's what I'm saying. So 1800 is not like they're not
it's
like
not
interested
gonna
in
do
that. They want to see jump scares and teenagers being hacked and slashed. Like,
How did they
that's-
text on the boat?
Yeah, like that's what they want to see. They want to see movies like the updated version of Scream, right? Or like that's what's going to work. Or like these classic movie monster films and stuff from different eras. Like we may be fascinated, but we're not the
Exactly.
audience they're trying to appease, right? So I think it could be a sign, a bad sign for horror films. In a specific genre of horror. If you make it for like the teen and 20-year-olds, it'll do well. It'll, popcorn film, late night, Friday night date movies. But in terms of like the classic horror film, it has to be so spectacular where you draw a larger audience. And I just don't know if people are excited to go see horror films in a theater.
Well, that's why I said I was surprised that Abigail didn't do well, because it's he's got a young cast member, and the actress that did this movie is fantastic. That's the first time in a long time I've seen a child. Well, that's true too. I think the actress in there did a fantastic. It's the first time in years I've seen a child actor that really could act. Like, she showed a huge range of like emotions and everything. It was fantastic. And it's kind of like it kind of appealed to, if you like the whole Saw kind of theory. So I'm shocked that like younger people didn't go see it, because it has some very good chills and everything. It's set for younger audiences, and like the people that went to go see Megan.
Well, you have to be careful though. Like, are we talking like Saw, like the first film or second film, or are we talking like Saw 86?
No. The first couple of Saws.
Because the first Saw goes down for me as probably one of the best films
Very
created.
eventful. Very eventful.
Especially because of how the end is in that movie.
Except for Carrie always overacting. Other than that, the film is really good. Like that.
Oh yeah, but you could just take that out though, right?
Yeah, you just put that on.
And
mute
Danny
in that
Glover
scene.
a little bit too.
Yeah, it's a little bad.
That's a standard Danny Glover performance, though.
Well, it is now time. Chat, you reminded Saw 86. Yeah, it actually is coming out. Saw 86 for plastic. So
graphic and everything.
We did it. We nailed it. So as many of you might know, Hasbro, as many other companies, went through some major layoffs, cutting, efficiency measures, and then reported a really nice Q1 on track to have a much better year. And so I think the question is, obviously the bottom line is influenced by those things, but in terms of demand and toy lines and popularity overall of collectibles, do you think that Hasbro is going to turn in a really great 2024? Because we're seeing a lot more pre-orders, a lot more buzz around some of their lines. I think toys in general seem to be having a much better start of the year than last year. So what's your take on Hasbro? Is this a sign of great things to come?
I think they benefited from yes and yes on both of the questions. I think they benefited from the layoffs, because any major corporation, when they do layoffs, it's just to make their bottom line look good. But the reason why I say yes and yes is the stuff that they've been putting out, the 40th anniversary, all the fan streams they've been doing for the Transformers, all the Marvel Legends stuff, have all been hitting the money all this entire first part of the year. There has not been one fan stream that I've seen or any of their pre-orders that I said, well, this looks like garbage. It seems like they're not trying. Each one of the teams, the Marvel team's doing some great work over there. The GI.Joe team's doing some great work. the Transformers teams. They are picking the only team that's not doing a lot of good work is maybe the Power Ranger team, which I got to think they were probably the layoffs.
Well, but Power Rangers team though, you also have the combination of Hasbro Playmates contract. So I don't know how much they would invest currently in Power Rangers, knowing that they have a collaboration coming down the pipe.
Yeah, Meek said he wants to get the thought on the item that Mr. Maddox woke me up early for, the Transforming Megatron. Look, for $900, like I think they're fantastic vehicles. They are amazing. I'm not paying $900 for that.
I'll tell you what I think about that crap. Why is Megatron a massive massive tank, and he's 900, but then if I want Grimlock, I got to spend 1,500.
Well, because maybe a tank's easier to change into a dinosaur. I don't know. Look, at first when I saw it, when you told me it was a tank and everything, I was thinking, okay, because I'm thinking please don't let it transform into an actual gun, because I could just see that all ways wrong. But I don't know. I think that like I said, that's another example of Hasbro, farming out certain items. It fits. It's just that it's crazy the amount of money. But again, like Chet was saying, I just think that they're just doing a better job on some of the they've cut costs obviously, but every one of the thing Chet and I both purchased Power Man and Iron Fist. He was telling me, hey man, the Silver Surfer that sold out in minutes. And I think they even killed the GameStop kind of thing that he kind of gave out.
That got shut down real quick, and I'm
quick.
There must have been the wrong person watching that Toy Box Chronicles.
Yeah,
because I
instantaneously we got offline. It was done. I was like,
yeah. Silver Surfer was readily available on GameStop, and as soon as we did that cast, it's like no more.
Well, all the Marvel Legends stuff. So Carnage retro card, Spider-Man retro card came out. Target pre-order yesterday, all sold out. All the Marvel stuff. Here's what's not McFarlane stuff. Now, there are certain items that are pre-ordered that sell out, but there's still, if you go to the website, there's a lot of stuff that's still available. Most of the Marvel pre-order stuff goes within a few days, if not 24 hours. There's a few exceptions, but all their retro card stuff. Now the Walmart exclusives that they released, like the Captain America that they just released, that's still available. I think just Walmart, they produce so many figures there that they just have access. But I think, some of the retro cards that we've talked about on former past streams, they've done a really fantastic job with the X-Men 97 line, the Spider-Man retro card, the vintage series card backs, the Uncanny X-Men card. People are they're really great cards, great figures. I really like Hasbro. They've stepped up, and every couple of weeks they got new releases on things. I think they're staggering the releases really well. I think that the only thing that I've always complained about Hasbro, and it continues to be, is stop giving us these Marvel Legend characters embedded in the Build-A-Figures where you're making us buy these characters that nobody wants. There's some characters I'm like, come on, man. You got to buy 6 and 3 of them are just garbage. You're making this people spend $20 for nobody wants these. Resale value is terrible. They're basically
or you're spending way more money. You're spending way more money to have somebody who's assembled to build a figure.
That's what I'm saying.
Because
that's the issue. Do a line. They used to do this in the past. Build a line of a great Build-A-Figure and give us 6 badass characters. Do it. There's plenty of it. Or just repop somebody. So I think Hasbro is doing a fantastic job, probably more so than any of the other companies as it stands for Q1.
Yeah, sticking with that though too on the Hasbro line and everything. So I got to give a shout out to Matt and Simon at the Walmart in Hemet, California. I met them tonight and everything. I was in there, obviously doing some stuff. I went in there to pick up Black Chrysanthemum. Yes, Black Chrysanthemum on card. And I asked them, I said, hey man, you guys mind if I open it here? Because we all saw what happens when you don't open up your figures. And he's in here, but they were in there. They subscribed to the channel. So, thanks for all the help, guys, because that was the thing. I was like, I'm not purchasing this until I can open it right here and make sure that character's in there. So,
Wonder if you opened it up and it was Chewbacca.
I was waiting for that too. Let me tell you something. I was waiting for that too. So, but they were two cool guys. They're into TMNT. They were actually on their lunch breaks looking at some of the retro card backs, actually, by the way. So they were taking advantage of their employee discount and the sale as well. So good job, guys.
Yeah. If anybody's interested more about toys in this segment, we have Chet Maddox and Mr. Alexander Storm every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Pacific time on the Shadow Nose Network is the Toy Box Chronicles. So an in-depth review of all things toys. And I want to sneak peek something. I think it's time to sneak peek. I wasn't going to unveil this, but
okay.
Star Wars Day is right around the corner.
It is.
And we are going to be doing on the channel a special series of content associated with Star Wars. And look, I'm going to blow this for you all surprise-wise, but Toy Box Chronicles is doing an in-depth on Star Wars, current, past, and present. So all you Star Wars junkies and fanatics of the toys, there might be some special guests and stuff, but please check those things out on next week, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Pacific time, as well as other exclusive Star Wars related episodes. I love Star Wars, man, and I can't wait to talk about some of the stuff, and also complain about some of the stuff. That's what true Star Wars people do.
You know what you can complain about is lucky for Haulathon they don't happen on Wednesdays, because I would have been very pissed off.
Yeah.
Because
they haven't been happening on Friday, brother. They haven't been doing a good job.
Nothing has been new though. What you got, Chet, is just been like you already picked up 90% of the stuff. So like day one. So what am I waiting for every Friday at 6 a.m.? It's the same stuff you have there at your office.
The only things that I'm waiting for, because everything else I just decided was not worth it, is I just need Raphael and Michelangelo on the VHS series. I was on when that launched. I had it added to my cart, and when I went to check out, it said it wasn't available. I was like, "Would you?" This is Target. This is we're going through this thing again where it's like, and then I go to my Target, and like there's 3 of the Turtle Punks. So anyone could buy plus a hidden one. Yeah. They have like all the stuff that everyone's having a problem getting. Like it's all that like they had like 7 foot soldiers. And in the back of my head, I'm like, man, I should just buy all these and then we could sell them on our whatnot. But I don't want to. I want the VHS one. So I was in early. I have the Donatello Leonardo already. I got those like 2 weeks ago, which doesn't make any sense. So I'm just waiting for him to pop up, and then I can't keep track of when all that retro card Marvel stuff launches. I just walk into my Target and I'm like, "What's this?" And then Chris usually says that came out, like with the Voltron stuff.
Hey, also too, while we're hitting up that, if you are, this is the weekend. If you're actually at Walmart and everything, there's a bunch of stuff that's popping on clearance. That Chrysanthemum was only like $13. They've got some of the superpower stuff from McFarlane, a couple of the McFarlane figures. I think they had Shazam and a couple of Black Adam, but these were the Page Puncher versions of them, the bigger ones. But they had even the Page Punching version of Mr. Freeze. They had some stuff there that was on clearance, so you better get it while it's there, because guaranteed that Star Wars Black Series $34 figure down at $13. Waiting to pull the trigger. Now it's time to pull that trigger.
And if you can't get to your local Walmart and online shopping is your preference, Entertainment Earth has tons of clearance items every week. And if you're looking for exclusive promo code, none further than below here on the channel, $79 orders and up, you get free shipping and 10%. Use our referral code Entertainment Earth PPI. So more details in the channel description. So on to our next segment, Ink. Okay. So, Mr. GI.Joe himself, Mr. Storm.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
going on in the world of GI Joe comics?
Look, I can tell you, Skybound, Larry Hama. If you don't know who Larry Hama is, he's the father of GI Joe. He's the guy that wrote all the descriptions of GI Joe. He
I
wrote
thought Hasbro
comics.
was the father of GI Joe. No?
Yeah, no. Larry Hama was given that, hey, the assignment by, I think, the great Jim Shooter. Hey, do something with this, because Hasbro's like, we got a line of toys, we need some mythology behind it. Larry Hama went home and really is the father of G.I. Joe, the modern day version of G.I. Joe. He had a long run over at Marvel Comics, and then they decided to end it. It's gone through several companies. It's jumped from Image, Devil Do, IDW. And so at this last time when IDW fell through, everyone thought the series was going to be over, but Robert Kirkman's Skybound Entertainment stepped in, and they've been doing a lot of good work with the Energon universe, and they pitched Hasbro. And I never read the IDW run, because I'll just be honest with you, I think IDW never spends any kind of cash on artists. So most of the series was drawn like somebody drew it with their left foot. And if there's any GI Joe artist that worked on that book that's pissed, put in the comments.
Don't use your feet next time.
Yeah, who cares? Draw better.
I like how you say, like, if anybody's pissed, like someone wouldn't be pissed to hear that your art looks like you drew it with your
Hey,
foot.
hey, learn how to draw with your hands. What can I tell you? But they ended up moving the series over. It's always been extended, so they've never like stopped it and rebooted or anything. It's been its original run. Larry Hama is doing, like, I would say the G.I. Joe God's bidding, because he is nailing it. First of all,
Nice.
I know this was one of these artists that that my man Chet basically told us, but it's Chris Mooningham. And I remember it was from what was the famous series? Fabian?
Fabian Ghost. Yeah, 5 Ghost Fabian Gray.
This guy is born to do G.I. Joe. The work between him and Hama, first of all, they've got covers by the great Andy Kubert. And if you don't know Andy Kubert and everything, then you
You're
need
drawing with your left foot.
Yeah, there's some problems, but it's comes from the famous family of Joe Kubert. If he has a school in New York that a lot of artists trained under, a lot of great artists. He's also brother of Adam Kubert, who's a longtime Wolverine artist. So they're a talented family, but he's doing other covers. And so I'm gonna put this up. See, make sure I got that. That's he's making the Joes look fantastic, but the interior artwork is fine. Larry Hama's writing some of the best work. They've kind of gone into a whole G.I. Joe zombie kind of scenario with Serpentor and everything else. It's just really inventful how he's moved this on, and it's extremely, like, I don't know if of course, obviously we're older. I remember when the G.I. Joe comics were sold with that little bit of an animation commercial, and then it said at your local comic store, and it was like you could see the story animated wise and like a 30-second promo, and then you could go to the shelf. All they're missing is the animated promo, but the work is fantastic. It's well written. There's a lot of great military terms because Mr. Hama actually served. So there's a lot of like on your 6 and references if you've been into the military, you come from a military family. But the characters, he's taken obscure characters. He's taken like the spirits and the stalkers and the guys that really are kind of like one-off characters that you see in the old animated show, and they're kind of forefronted. They have the pit, their base. Like, there's a lot of great work in it. Skybound, I'm always critical because it seems like after The Walking Dead, Robert Kirkman, really most of the books there are so. He was the perfect place for the Energon universe. Hasbro really trusted in this, and this is the first time in years that Transformers looks great. G.I. Joe's looking great. They've got a Duke miniseries that's written over there. They've been just nailing the work, man. So if you actually haven't popped in the comic book store, you should pop in, because the good thing about it is it's just one contained title. There's the other work that's in the Energon universe, and this is just a separate book. So if you're looking for some of the G.I. Joe mythology and things that you could just pick up one issue, you don't need 15 or 16 different issues. This is a great series. Even at this late point, it's worth starting, man.
Awesome.
Is there a trade for that yet?
Not yet, not yet. But they did reprint GI.Joe #1 because I know a lot of times it's hard for fans to actually go get something that was done in like the 80s. So they did a nice reprinting, but they actually did this is the GI.Joe #1, but this is a remaster series. Some of the editor in chief that edited out some of Larry Hama's original dialogue and everything, that's all been restored here. So you're getting like the George Lucas special edition version that was directly from Larry Hama, and there's no editing involved. It's what his original vision is right here, and it was nice to see that from the original series because now you have like a reference. You've read the original one, and you saw what they left out from Larry Hama, and it was kind of like again like the Zack Snyder cut. Just you didn't have to sit through 6 hours of it.
Speaking of comic books, massive comic event we talked about a couple episodes. Marvel, Blood Hunt, all different characters and storylines tied into this epic adventure. Does anybody want to, just for those who are just listening for the first time, a quick summary of what's happening in Marvel Blood Hunt, and then we can jump into our selections of the books we're going to read to report back on, is this great? Could this turn into future films and TV series or a dead end?
I think it has to chance to be another Civil War. It's a company-wide crossover, and this is one of a supernatural nature, but it's crossing through a lot of the characters, the Avengers, the X-Men, Doctor Strange, Fantastic Four. There's a lot of great characters. Obviously, Blade and Ghost Rider will be in this, but it's the world is thrown into eternal darkness, and a kind of hybrid group of vampires are starting to take seeds, and the Marvel characters have to respond back to that. The one interesting factor is that there's supposed to be Blade, and Blade's going to take on a new apprentice, and it's going to be Miles Morales, Spider-Man. So that already just got me right there. So I definitely want to see it. But I was in a comic book store. I added a pull list today, and I think we're all going to read the Blood Hunt, the 1 through 5, but they have a red band edition. So just like the trailers that they do, they're going to have an issue that's going to be with more scenes, and I'm probably sure some harsher language and certain a little bit more violence that they would not normally put into their normal Marvel, teenish kind of like way. So they've got a bunch of books. They've got some Dracula, Midnight Suns, got Werewolf by Night. There's Wolverine, X-Men, Amazing Spider-Man, The Avengers, Doctor Strange, Fantastic Four, Moon Knight, Venom. So Black Panther.
I believe they did like an official trailer for this, right?
They did do an official trailer for it. Yes, they did. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of cool too. That's like the old way they used to sell, Marvel comics back in the day. So, they're pulling out all the stops for this, but sometimes they used to do those crossovers, and it seemed like they just did a crossover to crossover company wide, and it just didn't make any sense. This is one of the few times where it got me interested because I haven't seen it in a while, and I'm thinking that they're putting some time and energy. They even gave out to the to comic stores a free Blood Hunt diary that was inserted, and it has it has a checklist and all the rundowns, and they talked to some of the artists. They put some of the artwork in up that is just really nice, really beautiful work. They've taken all the ins and outs of this, and I think this is going to be a very good summer event, man. Well, I think it's May, so it's not really summer.
May 1st. May 1st.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's going to be popping in the comic book stores on Wednesday of the coming week.
And so here's something that's interesting that they could do in the movies is make like a trilogy, but with 3 different characters. So it's like there's a Moon Knight Blood Hunt, then there's the Blade Blood Hunt, and then there's the Avengers Blood Hunt or something, and they can actually build a story over 3 different characters or teams, and have something like an end game again, but a smaller version of it.
Well, I've got to think that this material is probably going to pop its way, because I know they stated that they wanted to do the Midnight Suns to the screen the kind of same way they did the street level Marvel characters that they wanted to do. So at one part or another, this is going to be on Disney Plus, or this stuff is jumping to the theater, but I'm sure this is probably some hidden project that they're going to jump into another form of media.
So let's do this. Do you all want? So I'm sharing the screen. If we could put the screen on here, because this is the list of all the books here that will be available. So I think it would be. Do you all want to commit to outside of the traditional the blood hunt run? Do you want to select one or two? You tell me. What is it? One seem manageable, or do we want to try to cover a bit more of this crossover event?
I mean, I'll do two.
Okay, I'll do two.
I'll do two.
We all go with that? Two?
Yeah.
Yes.
Dr. Brantley reluctantly. Okay, since the birthday boy's here, we're gonna give him first choice outside of the Blood Hunt 1 through 5. You get to choose one. It's like a draft of what you're going to take on here. And just so you know, down at the bottom, you got Moon Knight and Venom and Miles Morales.
Well,
so
it's Moon Knight. I've always liked the Moon Knight character.
Okay. Moon Knight. All right, chat. Your turn.
All right, let's see. So we're just picking the other because we're gonna all doing the regular.
Yeah, we'll do the 1 through 5 just so we can all follow along, and then
you know what? I'll try to do. I'll do Strange Academy.
Okay.
All right.
I had a feeling you were going to pick that, man.
Yeah, of course you did. I wonder why.
Cool. Okay. Mr. Storm.
Okay. I know myself. I'm gonna do. Let's see. I'll probably do Black Panther because I know I'm big into that.
Okay.
And I'm also gonna do. There was one. The Blood Hunters, that miniseries.
Okay. So Blood Hunters, and
Yep.
Black Panther.
Mhm.
I'll choose. I gotta go with let's go with Wolvie, man. I'll read the Wolverine. So Dr. Brantley, chat, you got one more to pick.
Werewolf by Night.
Okay.
That's a good one, brother. That's a good one.
On theme. Okay. Chat.
Scroll up. What's above?
Above is just Blood Hunt 1 through 5. And then down below you got Venom.
You know what? I'm gonna do. I don't know. It's between Midnight Suns and Hulk. I'll do Hulk.
Okay.
Hulk. Okay, Hulk
Yeah.
Blood Hunt. And then I'm just gonna take one for the team. I also like the books and the character, but I will do Spidey, Blood Hunt 1 through 3. Okay. Cool.
Right.
And I might do Midnight Suns as well.
Yeah,
Oh, look at that. All right.
Just because I like those characters.
Yeah, Midnight Sun's rad. I might do that as well, but
And I might as a bonus, I'd be interested to see Doctor Strange in this crossover. It feels like there could be some interesting things there. So that will be a bonus feature, assuming it's good.
I wonder. I only would want to do Fantastic Four because I would be hoping that there's a lot of Doom in there, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
Well, here's the thing: when you're in the shop and you pick up the book and take a look at it, if you like it, pick it up. If you don't, leave it there.
Yeah, you could read all of these and pick them all up, but you have to be prepared on air to talk about the 2 and or 3 you're volunteering to read, and hopefully we have a really good crossover, or some books are better than others. But I think it'll be fun.
Okay.
Man,
cool.
Narrowed that down.
Yeah, no, that was quick too.
I do have something that I would be reminisce. We were talking about Skybound, and this is just like a little quick advert because this game comes out in August 22nd. And if you like RPGs and you also happen to like old school wrestling, I'm talking like Andre the Giant, Macho Man, then you'd be happy to know that Skybound and I believe it's Wildcat, Megacat Studios, sorry, on August 22nd are releasing WrestleQuest.
Oh, okay.
WrestleQuest is a RPG wrestling game with all of the old school wrestlers. So, I mean, it's a small announcement, but I would be there hasn't really been any really good games that came out, and this is telling me this is like a wrestling thing. Hold on, let me show you guys. This is amazing. It's just something I feel like we need to talk about. Can you see it? Or no? Someone put it up there. There it is. So there you go. Look at that. Who doesn't like that?
Yeah, it looks kind of cool. Well, I haven't seen an RPG version of a wrestling game, so that is kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's perfect. Everybody they have on there is perfect.
Sergeant Slaughter.
Yep, Sergeant Slaughter.
Yep.
Jake Snake.
Yep,
Anyways,
Giant. Yep, old school.
There you go.
Gotta love it.
I want to bring that up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be playing that.
Well, I'm looking forward to when is it released? When's the date again? For the first books?
They'll be hitting this coming
May 1st.
Wednesday.
Mm-hmm. Okay, sounds good. We all got to pick up those books. As we teased about earlier, the Star Wars May the 4th be with you is approaching. And other than just Toy Box Chronicles special Star Wars episodes, we are going to run a series of amazing Star Wars content throughout the Shadow Knows network. So if you are a Star Wars fan, you need to stay tuned to what is going to happen. The first thing we're going to be doing is on the Pixels Plastic and Ink, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Every Friday, we will do an official tier ranking of all of the Star Wars movies and TV. What is the S tier and what is the bottom tier? Join us for that. And then Mandalorian Monday, we have a special episode, Mando Mondays. What are we going to talk about? You'll have to tune in. But what's the future of the Mandalorian, the Mandoverse? We'll talk a little bit about the film that's upcoming, that is switched from a new season to full-length feature film and much more. Then Toy Box Chronicles on Wednesday, 7 p.m. Pacific time. We will talk about a variety of things, including toys from past, present, and future. As you can see, there is a Star Wars toy behind Mr. Chet Maddox. Don't know if you can see, but some epic stuff in store, some on-card stuff, some loose stuff, just talking about all this stuff. And you could see Mr. Storm picked up some new stuff from the Black Series as well. And then a couple other things sprinkled, maybe 1 or 2 minute clips throughout the channel. And then we round out for the last Pixel and Plastic and Ink episode the following Friday, in which we will do the best lightsaber battles of all time. So you may be surprised on what we say. It may not be the traditional ones you think. So stay tuned. Very exciting stuff. Mr. Storm, I know we have some other content upcoming as well, including the long-awaited Retrospect series.
We do. But before we get in, I'd be remiss not to thank our sponsors of the Shadow Knows Network, Pixel, Plastic, and Ink. From day one, Toys versus Games in Wilmington, California. If you're in Wilmington, California, you want to stop into a place that's a mom and pops that cares about your business and actually needs your business better than the big box stores. See Tony, see his wife, very lovely people. They believed in the show before it was called Pixel, Plastic, Ink, and they're rolling on through now. And it's Shadow's preferred store. You may catch them in there. From there, let's jump down to Entertainment Earth. Well, again, you got the small guys that we love, but there's the big guys too. And if you're going to do it, don't do it any better than Entertainment Earth. In fact, like if you use our code, you get a discount. And actually, if you can get a discount, get it. And on all items that are $79 or more, free shipping. And chances are, if you buy one item nowadays, it's going to be
Yeah,
$80.
and it's way less than that.
So,
You go to
chances
Walmart
are,
and get the clearance.
it's a win-win. It's a win-win. So that's great. But we jump in. Couple of key things. Before we move into the retrospect, I'm going to let Mr. Maddox explain the biggest event other than the Star Wars week. It's coming before Star Wars week, and it's dropping tomorrow. Mr. Maddox.
Tomorrow? Why am I lost?
What are we doing tomorrow? Huh? What?
Just kidding. But I scared you guys. Tomorrow we our grand opening of our Whatnot store, which is going to be fantastic. And we do ask that you show up and hang out with us, enjoy another version of a podcast where you can purchase while listening. It's the Purchase Podcast.
Now, did we settle on the time? Because I know we were talking about.
So we currently have a time, but you want to bookmark it on Whatnot, and the time may change. We're looking at something that makes more sense for our audience, and so that's why. Right now it's scheduled for 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, but we have been able to identify our audience maybe at a later time.
Okay.
So. We will more to come on there, but if you just go to whatnot.com/pixelplastic inc, you can bookmark the show, and it doesn't matter if we change the time because it'll just prompt you when it comes up. But a lot of really cool stuff happening in there. It is our first one. I'm sure mistakes will be made, but hey,
and
it's still gonna be fun.
We'll also pop that up on the community page on the Shadow Knows Network. When we have the time frame, we'll put that up a couple hours before we do it. So if you go to the community section on YouTube for the Shadow Knows Network, we're going to put the Pixel Plastic Inc. Pop-up. We'll put the time frame up on there for a couple hours, and you'll have an opportunity. Yes, Meek. Yes. But from that point on, Dr. Brentley and I, we were off, writing scripts and Hollywood tearing our behinds open, literally. But we had some time to do because obviously it's the birthday boys week and everything. Sunday, like through the weekend, you're going to be able to see the part 1 of the retrospect. Yes, we're back. But it's the Indiana Jones special in honor of the greatest Indiana Jones fan on the face of the planet, Dr. Brentley. But we're doing part 1 and part 2. Part 1's going to have going through all of the movies, all 5 films, and any of the supposedly ripoffs. So, or
also
homages.
Has a special drink recipe in it.
It does. It does. And that's the drink. It's going to be Dr. Brentley drinking it. I'm not, actually, because one of us had to be sober while doing it. But
how did you not say it's the retrospect after our
Sean Conrad,
Indy's father? No, okay, all right. Anybody? All right.
But there is, I think it's the Shirley Temple of Doom, right?
That is correct.
I'm not mistaken. And there will be the drink listings in the description of that episode, so you can mix it up because I think we go for 90 minutes on that one, Dr. Brentley?
Yes, sir.
So you've got enough time to go to the store, mix a drink and everything, still come back, and the episode's still going.
How is there not a Kingdom of the Crystal Vodka, by the way? I'm curious.
We're not done with them, brother.
Nice. Well, I'll be tuning in with the glass full.
That's going to lead into, because we've done it in the past, but we're putting it together now, and the points is going to be Pixel Plastic Inc. and drinks. We've done it in the past. It's going to come in the future, so it's going to start popping up a little bit more. Other than that, this is the thing that everybody keeps asking me, and I keep getting DMs and everything else, and they say, you know what? Hey, while we love Dr. Brentley and we love, you, Mr. Storm, and we love Chet Maddox and Mr. Storm when they do that, but they said all we give a damn about is the Retro Rerun Club, the Chris and Chet scenario. So when are we going to see some more of that, guys?
2029 will be the episode. Actually, the real story behind it is we've just got tons of shit we need to open, so we'll just rip the Band-Aid off. And we've been prioritizing the Whatnot stuff, to be honest with you. That's just loud and clear. Like, you can see the collection we've acquired and some of the stuff. So I feel confident once we get past our grand opening that we'll definitely put some recordings, but lots of cool stuff I think we got stuff that has arrived for unboxing, stuff that is being prepackaged. So look out, including a special one I just picked up today. It'll be fun stuff. So more to come. But we've just been prioritizing the whatnot stuff.
It makes sense. And that leads into, if you're here, then I know you've probably been watching all the stuff that's been happening, and from AEW to TNA to WWE. Well, we're not authorities on that, but you know who is? The Tekmaster and Shadowe. And if you haven't been seeing the Top Wrestling wrap up with the Tekmaster, you've been missing out on some stuff. Because I can tell you right 100%, he's been on it. He was on that AEW stuff before it was popping up, and he's been continuously. But Shadowe has been doing the Shadowe Shoot Shot podcast, and he's former wrestler. He's given his insights and all of his years of knowledge onto it, and he just something that popped up. He's been asked to jump over to another YouTube channel to do an actual guest spot, and they're going to do a guest spot on his. So that's going to be coming up as well. So there's a whole collaboration things in the YouTube world for everybody, and that's what it's about. Everybody just hooking up one another. So we got some really exciting stuff coming, but I'm looking forward to Saturday to the whatnot, because I know Mr. Maddox, Mr. Chris has been murdering out. Dr. Brenton and I got some stuff doing it, but we don't work as hard as those two. Let's just be honest.
Awesome. Well, as always, we appreciate you all listening this evening. Again, please subscribe. We appreciate always, you all sitting with us and watching it either live or in the past. We appreciate the channel is growing. Don't be afraid to drop a comment and tell us what you want to hear or see your future episodes. We love opinions and suggestions. Again, there's a lot of content on YouTube. So a time spent with us is well received and well appreciated. So for Mr. Storm, Dr. Brantley, Chet, I am Chris. We will see you next week, and then we'll see you on Whatnot tomorrow. Have a good night, everyone.